Of allegiance. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Moving on to roll call.
Casey Benner,
Here.
Mark Buckeye,
Here.
Tom Hooper,
Here.
Whitney Tucker, Bill Hart. We have quorum.
Okay. Moving on to the approval of the agenda for today's meeting.
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda. Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay. Moving on to the approval of minutes from our last meeting on January 23rd of 2023.
I'll make a motion to approve. I second.
Okay. I have a motion and a second to approve the minutes from our last meeting. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay, moving on to the introduction of evidence.
These are our city ordinance, design guidelines. There's a copy of the staff packet on the table that I believe I sent to you all Thursday last week. That is it.
I'll make a motion to approve the evidence. Second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second to approve the evidence. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay, moving on to old business.
Not too much to update on the Historic Preservation Fund grant application. We should be sending that out for our request for proposal in the next week or two. So that is just about ready to go out for proposals. And then the application for the Paul Broom grant application was submitted, I believe, February 7th, 6th or 7th. So there's a couple of stages to the receipt process, but it was received and passed on to the National Park Service. So I'm not sure when we'll hear. I would say sometime before May.
Okay.
Unless you have any questions.
Moving on to new business. We'll start with SGHC 008-23 to receive a certificate of appropriateness to remove half-round guttering on the entire structure, replace with K-style 5-inch guttering on the rear, replace with type A box guttering on the south side, and not replace any guttering on the front facade at 116 South Main Street. Do we have any questions?
Yeah, but I don't remember what it was. Senior moment.
Our applicant, I assume you guys all saw that, it's part of the packet, submitted an explanation. Okay.
The only thing I question, why are they wanting to go with the box guttering on the south side?
Well, because it, unlike the front, there is a portion that is over bare earth that could conceivably, if there's water coming down that isn't carried away by a gutter, could create some kind of an issue. But we wanted to go with the box guttering because it's still more historically appropriate than the half round.
For the time period of the building. Half an hour much later.
Yeah, half round was introduced about 1900
Right.
and is still used in up through the 60s. And it only doesn't work that well.
Yeah.
Where we got the inspiration on the box guttering was from the back of Felix Valley. They got
Right.
a nice solution on the back side of their rear gallery. And so the decision was to try to come up with something that was at least a little bit more appropriate than good old K.
Right, yeah, we don't like that. But, no, I was just curious, I mean, just going with a standing seam roof, you know, the half round would be more appropriate from the standing seam roof aspect of it, where like the box would have been more prior to your standing seam.
Well, you do get standing seams as early as, mid-19th century, so.
Yeah, I guess I did, didn't I? Okay. What are those box eight, that box fitting, what is that going to be made of? Is it aluminum also?
Yeah.
Really on the rear, it's not a big deal for me on the rear, using the K. Like I said, I don't like K style, but, I mean, I'd rather not see it at all on it, but at least on the back, you don't see it.
Yeah. On the side, there's a couple of places where there's some erosion already, even just with,
Right. I mean, I drove by there the other day too. But on the, any side, it would be visible from the road.
yeah.
I would say no. And are you guys planning on doing anything, putting any gutters on the front at any time?
No,
You know?
no, that's consistent with, both Lemire and Bolduc have no gutters.
Right.
And it is far enough, because of the front gallery,
Mm-hmm.
it's far enough away from the front wall where water would be running off that it's not gonna,
Okay.
and it's all landing on
Sidewalk.
concrete sidewalk.
Yeah.
So it's
Okay.
not gonna impact the, in
Right.
fact, found having the gutters that were there created more problem than they solved.
Yep.
So we think we'd come out ahead, and it looks nicer.
Would you be willing to do the box gutters along the back instead of the K?
No. It's a matter of cost, and it's not visible from the road.
Right, but you still have guests that come to the backside and see the entire structure.
And it's consistency on the sides that are actually going to get new guttering.
Right. So it's gonna be, so there's an issue with the cost of them then?
It's about cost, yeah. The box guttering, the type A, costs 2 to 3 times as much.
Right. Have they considered filing for a hardship to pay for the cost of the back gutters then?
I'm not familiar with that process.
David, you can explain a little better than I can.
Yeah, there's two forms. There's economic hardship, And then there's, which would impact the structure going forward and wouldn't allow for it to be used appropriately. That's not this case. And then there's, if it's a cost factor. So one depends on the use of the structure going forward. One depends on paying for the materials up front. If it's the material cost, then that would be the option that would be available.
Right.
Yes.
And that's just kind of what I'm getting at. I mean, I agree. I think it would be much more aesthetically pleasing, and I know y'all are about, preserving and everything, just like, we are on the foundation. And I just think it would look much nicer with the box, to be consistent all the way around the building. So. I mean, it's beautiful. It's a beautiful building. It just, you go start what I would say hodgepodging. You put this gutter on this side. You put this gutter on this side.
It's continuity of the gutters all the way
Continuity,
around.
exactly.
All the way around.
Right. It would just look nicer. And then with it being such a nice structure, I think it would be much more
Well,
appealing. And it would,
if you guys if you would approve it with that, because we got to move ahead with this.
oh, I understand. Of course.
And if you want to approve it with that, and then I'll make the argument. Then,
Okay. Yeah, I would appreciate that. I mean, I agree with you. I think it would be much nicer with the box all the way, anywhere they're going to use the gutters.
That would work with continuity, I think.
Right. It would look much better. You want to make a motion? You want me to?
I make a motion that we approve the certificate of appropriateness with the box A guttering on all gutters replaced.
I'll second.
Okay. I have a motion and a second to approve the certificate of appropriateness with the exception of type A box guttering, replacing all gutters that are being replaced, so that would be on the rear and south side. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay.
So type A gutters on rear and south,
Right.
completely okay with the front remaining gutterless.
Correct.
Okay. Make sure I get it right.
Thank you.
Yep.
Moving on to administrative approvals.
Just a couple of attestations. There is one for 320 Washington, where there was a replacement of wood panel fencing with wood panel, and another one for repairing the rear deck at 46 South Main as a new owner, and the deck is treated lumber, and they'll go back with treated lumber, but it's in pretty rough shape. 46 South Main would be next to the gag building.
So, it's the old gallery.
Correct.
So that did go through?
Correct.
Oh, okay.
It's sold.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep, okay.
Okay.
Any questions on anything else besides that one? All right.
Nope.
Good.
That's
No
it.
public comments. We can adjourn.
All right. What we got?
4:45.